taken good care of it.
I also think these are going to be the most studied minds in the world. If anything, I think we're far likelier a couple of years from now to study these models because we can subject them to mechanical interpretability studies that we can't subject human meat brains to. So I think if anything, trust is rapidly, just as I think we're on the verge of a transition to not trusting humans to write source code, and because humans write flawed source code, CodeGen is going to be much trustworthier in the short term. Same idea with these networks. I do think, if I may, with your forbearance, Peter, just 30 seconds on the math side of this. So again, the J in JSpace comes from Jacobian. The Jacobian in this case is referring to a little bit of math. The first derivative of the probability of each possible output token from the model with respect to particular parameters inside the model. So hence the Jacobian space or J space. And it's really interesting. There's been a lot of work in the mech-interp community in the past devoted to the so-called superposition hypothesis, the idea from neuroscience that if you looked inside a human brain, you'd find a so-called grandmother neuron, a single neuron that activates in response to the concept of a grandmother. And people went looking for a grandmother neuron inside transformers, and they couldn't find one. They found instead, and one can tell a whole story on the biological neuroscience side as well, found a set of sparse activations, a collection of neurons that collectively represented the notion of a grandmother, and that led to the superposition hypothesis that maybe individual neurons don't represent semantic concepts one-to-one, but rather different semantic concepts sort of clustered and superposed onto individual neurons. So in short, what this new JSpace and Jacobian lens concept brings is not just superposition of multiple concepts, sort of sharing like sardines in a can individual artificial neurons, but actually they're living in the first derivatives as well, the slopes or the changes with respect to particular activations of particular output tokens. And I think this is also very suggestive that if you just keep compressing, if we keep turning this compression crank to compress more and more general knowledge and general reasoning capabilities into the weights of one of these differentiable models, we're going to see a bunch more phase transitions, and things may hide in higher order derivatives. And just follow the compression, follow the interior compression weights. And I think this is a very, very promising pathway to the end of the rainbow.
Well, that may be my favorite, maybe my most favorite Alex line ever. Don't follow the money, follow the compression.
Follow the compression. That leads to the end of the rainbow.
Thank you for the mathematical interlude, Alex. That's why we love you.